everyone. My name is Ryan Wallace, and this presentation is for Professor Turner for Management 286, Section 003. My topic is recycling and its effects on states that implement the return value. I'm going to begin with my executive summary. The state of Missouri can benefit from the implementation of a bottle deposit law that has been implemented from Michigan to California. Both indirect and direct benefits occur as experienced by many of the states that have implemented a similar law. A study recently published by CalRecycle showed evidence when an individual paid the individual bottle deposit, they were more apt to return the cans or bottles when a deposit was applied. The City Council of Springfield, along with the state of Missouri, has requested evidence that will demonstrate the success of the law that will benefit the city as well as the state. Now in my presentation, I will be discussing how it will benefit Springfield and also the state of Missouri as a whole, based on expected revenue, employment, and the indirect benefits that are involved. Now, let's talk about the background of the law. Container deposit legislation in the United States began around the beginning of the 1970s with the Oregon Bill in 1971. They are popularly known as bottle bills. Currently, there are 10 states that have a form of return value for bottles and cans, with Michigan leading the states with 10 cents and the rest at 5 cents return rate. Unfortunately, bottle bills are quite contentious and have been repeatedly tried to be crushed before they can gain any traction. Retailers and soda bottling companies fight against the legislature with these laws because they do not want to have to aid in return of the products. States that have implemented a bottle bill have experienced their recycling rates to approximately 70%, while states without a bill show about 33% success. Supporters of implementing a bottle bill law have shown that the state's responsibilities are very minuscule at the most. In doing so, the financing of these programs are responsible for disposing of returned products, whereas consumers are responsible for simply returning the products for a refund. The states vary in the way that they handle their programs. From Connecticut, Maine, Michigan, and Massachusetts, their unclaimed deposits are property of the state, while in California and Hawaii, they cover administrative costs of the program. Now, also in my presentation, I am going to be discussing three main questions. How will a bottle deposit law entice the public to recycle? How many jobs will be created by the new law approximately? And what environmental impacts will it have on the city and the state in the future? So, how will a deposit law entice the public? Recycling is one of those things that for an individual may be easy or difficult for them to do. However, when most people buy their refreshments and would have to pay a deposit, they are probably more apt to return the containers. They simply want their money back, and when you think about it, the amount of water bottles and soda cans that a consumer uses, that is a lot of money that is tied up in the deposits. And once that consumer is able to get their refund, they will then turn around and spend the money into the economy and benefiting it as well. How many jobs will be created by the law? The jobs created by the bottle bill law will add approximately, based on the gains that Oregon experienced, to be approximately maybe 350 to 400 jobs, give or take. Expected job opportunities primarily composed of entry-level jobs that consist of production line workers, sorters, and bottle washers. What environmental impacts will it have on the city and state level? The environmental impacts that it will have on a city and in the state will be beneficial. With the returning of the resources, plastic, aluminum, and steel, it allows the commodity to be reused effectively. Also, it will keep them off the side of the road and in the streams where it could potentially clog up roadways. And expected revenues. Once the law is in the books, but depending on the model taken, different states handle their revenue that is earned from unclaimed deposits. Michigan with the highest return rate due to offering 10 cents per bottle, where the other states offer only 5 cents, acquire 10 to 30% less revenue. The unclaimed deposits are what is considered abandoned property and is unclaimed. So these unclaimed deposits are then, depending on the state, managed certain ways. Whereas California and Hawaii, they keep their unclaimed deposits in a state-managed fund to fund their recycling program. Oregon, Iowa, and Vermont allow distributors to collect unclaimed deposits, while Connecticut, Michigan, Massachusetts, Maine, and New York use full or partial escheats, which is the reversion or property to the state, where about 75% of revenue goes to the state and the rest to the distributors. For example, this left New York with approximately $104 million in 2011 in revenue. Employment. With the introduction of a bottle bill, it has the potential to create jobs in the economy. In the collection and recycling of soda, beer, and other containers, it would create thousands of jobs in retail, distribution, and recycling. States that have a handling fee, where redemption centers that have popped up in a retail center offer the public a convenient way of bringing in their containers to be returned for a refund. The indirect benefits involved. As many people know, recycling of bottles has indirect benefits. It may at first be difficult to think of, but first let me tell you. Every glass bottle that is recycled saves enough energy to light a 100-watt light bulb for 4 hours. Making cans from recycled aluminum saves 95% of the energy required to produce cans from new material. On average, Americans throw away enough aluminum to rebuild the entire commercial airline fleet every 3 months. Now, if we think about these facts, recycling does really make a difference, and reclaiming these vital resources allows them to be reused continuously and leaving a positive footprint on Earth. Now, for the conclusions and recommendations. An analysis of other states and how they implemented the bottle bill law and the impact that they achieved in making sure people return acceptable bottles has been astounding. Michigan set a lofty return value of 10 cents to heavily encourage people to bring back the containers. Think about it, 10 bottles is worth $1, and thus they have been able to achieve nearly close to 100% success rate. The other 9 states that have created their own bill, as mentioned prior, set their return rate at 5 cents, which has seen less of enthusiasm, but it has an average rate of return to about 75%. And now in conclusion, I would recommend for the state of Missouri to set their return value at 5 cents and go from there. The success rate may not be as high compared to Michigan, but it's getting the bottles out of the trash that would otherwise end up in landfills or on the side of the road. I would recommend to start a campaign that would raise awareness on the benefit of recycling not only bottles, but everything else as well, and how it can benefit everyone in the future. Now, it is up to us, this generation, to create a more sustainable future for further generations to come. Now, provided below will be the references that I use in this presentation. Thank you for your time.